Is AI going to take over woodworking? Today we're going to find out. I'm going to have AI design an end table for me, and I'm just going to be the labor in the shop. It's going to give me step-by-step instructions. It's going to give me visualization, cut list, all the stuff, and I'm just basically going to follow directions and see if AI can design an end table better than I can. My cut list for the shaker table. Can you give me step-by-step instructions? Make the table. I am going to be your labor. Just tell me what to do. So I'm not sure I like the bottom shelf. I think I want it more like this, clean. I do like contrasting wood, but this AI has like 3 different wood species going together. It kind of doesn't make sense. Also, it's floating on top here, but it's kind of cool. I can try and make something similar to that. So like I said, I'm handing it all over to AI, the cut list and the proportions. Even a few decisions I'm usually stubborn about. I want to see what happens when a craftsman leans on a tool he doesn't quite trust yet. As I start milling the legs down, this is where I notice the difference. AI gives me the perfect numbers instantly. But you know, wood never lies. Every board has its own soul, a twist or a knot or a little voice that says, "Hey you, slow down." And AI doesn't know that voice. Resawing it to create a panel glue up. So as you saw, I'm building a shaker end table. So for AI's first suggestion is a 4-inch apron. Not bad, but it feels like working with an apprentice who talks a big game but doesn't always listen. And I'm standing here thinking, does it really understand the soul of furniture, or is it just confidently guessing? And that's the challenge here. Shaker woodworking has a quiet honesty to it. I'm trying to figure out if AI understands why these proportions matter, or does it even understand what the word shaker means? Floating mortise and tenon joinery is simple on paper, but in practice, it's about rhythm and experience. A little resistance from the domino and a little patience. AI doesn't feel any of that. It just gives you the numbers and moves on. Quick sanding to see which side of the panel I liked, and also to see if my glue up went well. Again, labeling what size can be sanded and what can't. Because you want your edges to be flat and square, you can't sand every edge, otherwise the panels won't sit flat. Do you guys get burn marks when you use maple? I frequently do, no matter how new my blades are. I will say this, the speed is nice. The AI spits out a cut list faster than I can sharpen a plane. But woodworking's never been about speed. Sometimes the slowness is the thing that keeps your head screwed on straight. Interestingly, I got a little wobble after the glue up, and I came to find out that I forgot to glue one of the sides. So once I glued it up, my wobble was gone. And honestly, it's strange trusting a machine that hasn't earned it yet. It tells me a mortise width, and I'm standing here checking it 3 times because my gut says, come on man, don't let the laptop be the reason the table wobbles. Stole this from our Japanese woodworkers, a little toothbrush and water to get rid of the squeeze out. Really, really works well. I decided on this build to try wood drawer slides. It's my first time using them. They were definitely a challenge, but I like how this whole end table is all wood. No mechanical fasteners at all. There is one piece of metal that just holds the drawer slide into place and holds it by friction. Now that I have your attention, why don't you like and subscribe? It really helps us out. Here I'm laying out the drawer, putting tape down as my zero clearance so I don't have any tear out on the plywood. So here's where my problems really started to begin. I didn't realize the batteries on my calipers were running low. And what happens with my calipers when they run low is that measurements are not accurate at all. So I kept blowing through the plywood on the drawers with the Domino. That was not on purpose. So I kind of had to regroup and decide, do I want through dominoes, through tenons on the drawers? Or do I recut the plywood and do it again? As it turns out, you can see I didn't, so I'm recutting the drawer panels. Now I'm definitely marking where the dominoes are gonna go. I had to trim down the dominoes. I wanted to use a thicker style domino, so I had to cut the length down quite a bit. Part of me likes convenience, I won't lie. But another part wonders, if a machine takes away the hard parts, does it take away the meaningful parts? I don't build furniture because it's efficient. I build it because it gives me utility and reminds me of who I am. This maple was really figured beautifully. I really enjoyed working with it. I used a couple different types of maple on this project. I thought they complemented each other. The drawer faces was much more figured than the rest of it, but I really, really enjoyed the look. I'm cutting a slot out for the drawer slides. They're center bottom mounted slide. When I cut my bottom panels of the drawers, I use tape on the edges so you don't get tear out on the plywood because it's so thin. It's super helpful for that fine furniture look. On this one, I used type on quick and thick because I didn't have a lot of time to spare. I've assembled so many drawers in my life that I knew I could make it happen quick, and it worked out. Here I'm setting up the measurements for a little groove I'm gonna cut in with the router for the drawer slide to sit in. I don't do a ton of freehand with the router, but on this project I did quite a bit, and I actually found it really gratifying. Since AI was designing everything, I thought I would try new skills. so I pushed myself a little bit. Also used a lot more hand tools than normal too. So on the front side, it sits in a little groove. On the back side, I drill a hole in it and then I place a dowel so the drawer slide sits snug in there and it's square to the front and back. I broke the bed of my drill press, so I have to do things the hard way. I took a piece of blue tape and put it on the back of the drawer slide and then cut it out. And then I used that as a drill guide on the back panel, so I knew exactly where I needed to drill. So my drawer slide is square to the front and everything is in the right place. A little fine tuning of the drawers. Also the drawer face just needs a little tiny bit of a trim. I like to use playing cards as shims to make sure I get an equal gap on the sides of the drawer. As the table finally comes together, I can see where AI helped and where it definitely didn't. The joinery is my hands. The proportions are also mostly mine. The sole, well, I guess that's the experiment. And actually, you didn't see on there, I used a bowl bit to round out that circle, and then again, hand cut with the router, some grooves in there so I can inset a drawer pull. For the final touches, I put a slight round over on the front outsides, and then the insides will be square. The drawer face had a couple scratches, so I did the old-timer iron trick. Another old-timer iron trick, the top panel of the end table had a bit of a bow in it, so I heated it up and it curled back to flat. And that's really the question I keep circling back to. Can you build something with heart by using something with no heart? I'm not sure, but I think the answer lives somewhere between the wood and the way we choose to shape it. So here's the verdict. AI is a tool, a fast one, a clever one, but it's still just a tool. And as long as we're the ones holding the lumber, I think we're gonna be just fine. So that's it, an AI designed end table. I just basically was the labor today. Do I think AI is gonna take over woodworking? Nah, AI is here to stay, and it can help us with certain things. But I gotta be honest, using AI for this table is actually more hard work for me than normal. Things like the cut list and the way its measurements were, it just didn't make sense what I was used to. So it ended up taking me more time than I wanted. But overall, I'm satisfied with the project. Do you use AI in your wood shop? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for joining us today on this project. We hope to see you on the next one.